are now tuned in to the number one wraparound show provided to you by the number one spring football media conglomerate, the United Football Media, covering the number one spring football league, the United Football League. This is the DAR sports media team. We are back and better than ever with Tell Me About It. And this week we are rocking out a USFL conference preview. Last week, some debate going on, XFL, all of that. Real quick, top of the show. There's been more drama. There's been more stuff going on with the are we striking, are we not striking? It's really strange because there seems to be some rhetoric going on one side, and yet on the other side, you see players at camp, in camp. What we're going to do here, since practices will be happening today as you watch this, as it is released, things are probably going to be changing throughout the week regarding what is going on with this. So I'm probably just not going to talk about it because whatever we say is probably going to be out of date within hours after you watch this. So if not already by the time you get to it. So again, my opinion, our opinion is we'd love for everybody to get paid. We're always encouraging more money for everybody, but also this league's going to go on regardless, I believe. And anything you hear that's extreme or dramatic in any way is, I don't know. To me, feels like rhetoric. To me, feels like negotiation. So USFL conference preview. What is not rhetoric? What is not conjecture? Is the amount of turnover you see in the USFL and the questions that are facing us in the USFL when we talk about what might be happening in that conference. At the top we have the powerhouse that is the Birmingham Stallions, the three-time champions, the only three-peat champions in professional sports. The thing is there's a lot of movement going on both sides of the ball as far as new starters. They lost both of their edge rushers, lost their MVP caliber quarterback. And right here, we might be getting some comments. So I know a lot of you watching this, and a lot of our cohorts at the UFM are, they are USFL diehards. But so you might take some offense. You might have some thoughts and feelings about what I'm about to say. Look, I've seen the tape. I understand. Everybody expects USFL Jesus Alex Magoo to just stroll back in here, get 5,000 total yards, 50 total touchdowns. It's the way you listen to some of these other cats on United Football Media, the way they talk about this guy, the way they talk about what happened. That's what everybody expects. Well, we here on Tell Me About It, we've been very consistent. We're a show me. This is the state of Missouri over here. You got to show me. And I'm not trying to disrespect the USFL. I appreciate what they did for spring football, just as I appreciate what the XFL did for spring football. But both sides, both ways, it was half a league. It was half of a talent pool. This is a different talent pool. This is a different league. And Alex Magoo hasn't played quarterback in 2 years. So while I do not expect him to fail, I'm not saying he's going to be bad, but I do have to see it. I have to see him be as successful as he used to be against this new talent pool in this new league before I can just automatically slot him in as an MVP caliber player in this league. I don't think he's going to be bad by any means. And we might be overrating the losses that Birmingham has had because they lost both of their primary pass rushers. They lost a ton in the front seven. They lost in the secondary. They lost at the skill positions, wide receivers, but they still do return Amari Rodgers. They still do return Deon Cain. And most importantly of all, as we have seen throughout the years, they are returning basically their entire backfield. Ricky Persons, CJ Marable, Larry Roundtree III. So I wouldn't blame anybody, and I wouldn't blame my cohorts. I wouldn't blame anybody for automatically slotting Birmingham back in here as the powerhouse of the conference. I am interested in this Michigan situation. Michigan is returning most of its defense, including the best pass rusher in the league, Breland Speaks, top 3 linebacker Frank Ginda. They're returning Danny Etling and Bryce Perkins, both who showed off some solid abilities whenever they got chances to play last year, along with, I think, somebody who was a little bit of a sleeper, Rocky Lombardi, as their third string quarterback, rookie in the league. He was a former 3-star recruit, played at Michigan State for a minute, had some MAC Offensive Player of the Week type performances after he transferred to Northern Illinois. 6'4", 225 pounds with a 4.68 40. Very solid physical athletic tools. They bring, so they're missing Wes Hills, huge part of the offense. I get it. But Nate McCurry and Matt Colburn are back, and they're going to try and fill that role. They have their skill guys back. Marcus Sims, Sayosi Mariner. They have Cole Hicatini back. They have basically their whole offensive line back that performed good most of the time. Sometimes there was some frightening things that happened. Most of their front seven, like I said, the number 1 pass rusher in the league. I think the question that comes down to it in Michigan is how much did Jake Bates swing games for them? Now that they don't have that weapon anymore, now that they don't have the weapon of a guy who can hit from 55 to 65 anymore, how many wins and losses is that going to be worth to them? But Mike Nolan, we expect him to the defense to be even better. We've talked about the 3-year leap before, 3rd year in systems, and a lot of the front seven is going to be in the 3rd year of the system, the Mike Nolan system. So I expect this defense to be darn good again. Again, returning most of the offense. Will Bryce Perkins or Danny Etling take a step forward in another year in this system and become better players? And raise, so maybe you trade off losing Jake Bates for an improvement at the quarterback play, because another year of development for those guys. I'm a little stuck on who I want to put as number 1, and that probably sounds crazy to some people listening and some of our cohorts, but Birmingham's replacing a lot of people, including their quarterback. A lot of guys on defense. A lot of guys on the offensive line. Michigan is not. I don't know. Hey, what do you think, man? Top 2, I think we both pretty much have the same top 2. Birmingham is bringing in studs. They really are. They added Tay Crowder to their defense. Phenomenal player in the SEC. Skip Holtz, a lot of consistency in the coaching staff, a lot of consistency in the program down there for the Birmingham Stallions. But Michigan brings back so many other players, who was a very powerful looking team at times last year. What do you think, man? What's your split at 1 and 2?
I have to put Birmingham at 1 again. Like, if you remember at the beginning of the last season, we thought Matt Corral was the guy. Like, we thought,
yeah.
And they won games with them. Like, he didn't play the best, but they were winning. Like, whoever was at quarterback, they were winning. But I think they'll pick off from that. We've already seen them string together like win streaks and the ability to win. So, I mean, Matt Corral coming back and, everyone coming back, I don't see why not. Like, yeah, they lost the MVP, but we've seen the offense. We literally seen this offense with Matt Corral. So that's the reason why I'm going to keep them there,
Because I guess if Magoo isn't quite what he used to be, there you go, Matt Corral, full-time starter, and they still got the receivers and they still got the running backs.
Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah. I don't know. There's just no reason. I don't see them really struggling through the season. Like, I think they could go 8-2. They were 9-1 last year. They were definitely the best team all year. I just don't see them dropping off. Like, they might go 8-2. Like, they might lose an additional game, one more than they did last year. But in totality, like, they're probably gonna have the best record again. The USFL runs through them, in my opinion. Like, you're not gonna be able to avoid them. Like that. They're gonna be there for out of the other 3 teams. Whoever, I'll talk about my number 2 seed, but whoever it is to everyone, I think number 1 or 2. I do think Birmingham is like a lock for me. they're a playoff lock for me.
So who's your number 2?
I'll agree with you. I'll agree with you on Michigan. Just because I don't like the Showboats or the Roughnecks. It's more so that, like, I think it might.
Yeah,
the seeding might look like last year.
Yeah,
it was Stallions, Panthers, Showboats, and Roughnecks. I mean, I think it's going to be that again. I mean, I've spoiled my whole list, but
all right.
Yeah, I think Michigan, they're not going to be as good as they were last year. I don't think. Like Jake Bates, he definitely a lot. I don't trust the QB room, but I do trust the defense. So I think that's why they'll probably go 5-5 or something like that, 6-4, maybe. But yeah, I don't know. I'm really iffy about Michigan, but I do think they're just better than the Showboats and the Roughnecks. So me personally, yeah, I will have Michigan at 2. I am just worried about the quarterback. Who is it going to be? That's really my only concern. If I knew that maybe I could give I could give them a little bit more wins, but I don't know. Yeah, I got Michigan as not a solid 2, but they're there. They're there.
Speaking of solid 2, let's go ahead and talk about Memphis and Houston. No, I'm just. Well, hold on. We'll hold on a second before we creak open the door to the basement of the USFL and the league. By the way, in a minute. True, you're right. Do you have the same 1-2? Is there any discrepancy to you?
Memphis Showboats number 1.
Okay.
Memphis Showboats number 1. Now I'm sick right now. I'm going through something, so clearly I'm not in my right mind.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna do y'all. You know, absolutely not. Birmingham, absolutely number 1.
Okay.
I think the problem with Michigan is I agree with Tay. Like, I don't necessarily fully believe in them, but no disrespect to the Roughnecks and the Showboats, but I mean, I said it last year. I'm gonna say it every year. Left cheek, right cheek. We're
gonna get there in a minute.
That's just what it
Between
is.
Birmingham and Michigan, what separates Birmingham from Michigan to you? Because I thought I was conflicted, but you guys seem very confident.
Championship pedigree.
Yeah, I just trust when a team knows how to win, even when moving pieces go out, you still know, and you still have a solid system. You still have the ability to go out there and perform. And once again, it's not like they have the greatest competition on their side anyway. So, and that's, once again, that's not to disrespect anybody. It's just Birmingham has a very strong team for if they had to, be in the same conference, same separated with the, Brahmas and the Battlehawks, I would not feel as strongly about them. But in terms of USFL, absolutely. I think they're number 1. I think Michigan is like that number 2. That it's just the default number 2. Like I think Tay said like 6-4, something like that, or like I could see that. I can't see them doing any better. And the reason why they're bringing back players, but to me, their X factor all year, personally, to me, was Jake Bates. Like that was their X factor. So, and we've talked about on this show, we talked about on DAR, kickers are very important. And without and I see Tay, right? Yeah, I see Tay. I see what. But
Tay is the kickers guy.
Yeah, but and it's true though. Jake Bates, what was it? The game 1? Was it not game 1 of the season? So without that, you don't have that. You don't have somebody who say, "Hey, we need a 60-yarder," and you can trust that person. You don't have that. So that's where I think Michigan, they'll be better than Roughnecks and Showboats. But once again, that's not saying much. It's really not saying anything. But I just don't believe they can overtake the Stallions, just because I think the Stallions are built to win every season. In my opinion, every season, no matter what, they're just built to win. And they might not win it all, but I'm getting too far ahead. But I think in terms of USFL, absolutely. Absolutely. Birmingham and by default, Michigan. I really did want to keep Showboats at number one just to see if anybody would like, but clearly not in the right mind.
Now is the time. It's like the True will remember this. Tay, you're probably too young. It's like Tales from the Crypt. You know, at the beginning when the gate creaks open, do 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 do, and you're going down into the bowels of the building. That's where we're headed now. Now, I do want to say though, Memphis certainly attacked it. They have gone after this. You are going to have to check out Captain's Log with Brandon and Webb. They will love to tell you all about. There's so much upheaval on this team that we're not going to attempt to dig into the laundry list of new players, other than, of course, Tay's favorite player and MVP from last season, EJ Perry, quite possibly taking over the quarterback position down there. That might be what uplifts them up out of the basement. But man, you look at it, and it's. I think I counted earlier. I have the file up right now. I believe they have 21 new players in the 2 deep as either penciled in as starters or second stringers on both sides of the ball. 21, like,
wow,
new contributors if you're counting EJ Perry as well. Like, the new coach, new everything, and I think that was a worthy pursuit. Because last year, there were certain elements of this fine spring football media conglomerate who were all over the boats and telling us how great they were going to be and this and that and the third. And it was a massive, massive disappointment. So they have certainly attacked this roster. Again, added somebody who had some decent play last year in EJ Perry. New coach Kevin Whisenhunt has gotten some really good offenses built in the NFL at the NFL level. But on everything we're seeing around here, only the starting center and David Davis pretty much are looking like they're going to return as starters. Everybody else on the defensive side as well. Huge upheaval. Boogie Roberts been added. Jacob Cabody, Deneric Prince, Kwame Lassiter is a playmaker. I mean, it's just upheaval everywhere. It makes sense because of where I went down, but also it's tough to call. I certainly can't put them anything above number 3. I do hope that it looks better at least. They got fine support on this conglomerate. It's a great pod that Brandon and Webb do. I hope all 1,500 loyal fans that show up to that stadium are treated to a better outing this season. Come on, Memphis, need a little more support. What else do you got there? Let's go. Tay, what are your thoughts, man? Show boats.
Only reason why I'm not gonna put them at 4 because I like EJ Perry.
Yeah.
Enough to get them more wins than the Roughnecks. So
well, I think you're gonna like I think you like the Houston quarterback too. So
yeah, I think I like EJ Perry a little bit more.
There you go. Okay.
He was on a good team last year. He could bring some of his veteran leadership to the Showboats and win maybe 4 games. That's like my max. Like they're gonna struggle again this year, but it'll look better than last year. Like last year, it was bad all year long. They were 2-8. Like it was bad. It was really bad for them. So you can get worse than 2-8, but they're not gonna be worse than 2-8. That would be crazy. So I only see improvements from here. They did so much to bring in new guys. Like I like Dwayne McBride. He's probably been on some people's fantasy teams that are watching this, but I think that's a good addition to that running back. Like that was probably my favorite move they did. Want to see how much he'll play here, but yeah, EJ Perry to me is the sole reason that I think Be better than last year. Like that's all the improvement needed. Like sometimes it's just not a 1 year thing. Especially
only need 3 wins to improve. So
exactly, that's what I'm saying. It's not hard. I'm giving them 4. I think they can double their win total from last year.
Okay. AJ Perry and Kevin Whisenhunt just by that.
I think they can give me 4 wins.
True. Go ahead. I
don't even really have words right now. If there was a way to put the Showboats 5th in a conference of 4, I would, but there's no way to do that. So I'm gonna honestly. All right, I'll drop the gimme for a second. I have them at 3 as well, just because I have no faith in the Roughnecks, and I think the Roughnecks they're gonna run into the same issues they had last year, and I think the Showboats are just gonna get very lucky in like 2 or 3 games. I got them at best winning 3. I don't see them winning 4. And even if I felt like they could, I would never give them that much credit. 3 is my max. I'm gonna say 3 in general. 3 wins, finish 3rd. You're not getting no higher than that. Like I said, if I could, I'd put y'all at 5th or 6th. In the conference of 4. That's how low I feel about the Showboats. But I mean, it's like the meme. You know what a meme where the guy like he says like he worked out and he takes a picture and then he moves back. And then he looked the same. Yeah. Like no matter how many players you rotate, I still think to me it's I think it's a bit of a coaching, it's a system issue. I think they don't really know, and maybe it also could be a little bit about who you're putting out there too. And just the product there was nothing promising last year.
Well, that's why they got a new coach and a new system this year.
So I think when you bring this in though, when you bring everything in, when you change everything around though, you're starting from scratch.
Yeah.
But you're not building off of anything. You don't have anything to go off of. So you're fresh. Yeah. It's all fresh. It's all new. So those first couple of games, I think they're going to get slaughtered. I think they're going to get slaughtered those first couple of games. And then they'll get a win. And then, I'm sure, Showboats fans, I think you said all 1,500 of them, they're going to start to kind of believe. Yeah. Be like, oh, we finally got a win. We're like 1-3. Okay, great. And then you lose like another 2 games, and then you win another one, and it's like, look, we can close out this season and go 5-5, and then they're just gonna have more soul crushing losses. I see that. I hope for that. I wish for that. So, but yeah, I think they'll probably get like 3 wins. I mean, 4 wins is possible. If I am hoping for Captain's Log's sake that they surprise all of us, and do that, because then they can come back. They come on here and be like, see, we told you. Not gonna really care.
We will have them.
But
we will have them.
Yep. Appreciate it.
So speaking of all this,
not a hater.
Also, another team, to be fair, that had massive upheaval. Ton of new guys coming in, especially where I'm sure Ace would back us up where they needed it on the offensive defensive lines. They lost a lot of guys. A lot of their snap percentages are gone. But at the same time, like, how much worse could it really get than what we looked at with the Houston Roughnecks? It is what I can't think of which legend that is. It's not Faustian, but it is ironic. It's like a Greek tragedy that the 2 probably best podcasts, other than Tell Me About It, on this network, are about the 2 worst teams in the league. As Ace is down there with Roughnecks.
I respect what they do. They got a lot of passion.
Respect what they do. That's right. We got Ace down there with Roughnecks rundown. We got Webb and Brandon over there on the captain's log. So a lot of change, but they did bring back some good playmakers. TJ Pledger, Kirk Merritt are back. Kiki Chisholm's back. Justin Hall is back. And what we're most excited to talk about, brought in Damon Arnett. That is an interesting story that our guy Ace has been covering and will continue to cover down there on his show. Anthony Brown Jr., the former quarterback of our guy Tay's favorite college football team, Oregon. Near 3,000 yards passing, 800 yards rushing, 30 total touchdowns his senior year. Fast option style scrambling quarterback, can make some plays with his legs, can make some plays with his arms. There's some decent playmakers out there at the skill spots. Some hopefully some improvement on the offensive line, which was ghastly last year. They did lose, a big part of the heart of their defense between Chris Odom and Reuben Foster. That's tough. But maybe things look a little better on the offensive side of the ball between Anthony Brown. And that's assuming, I liked what Nolan Henderson looked like at the end of the season as well last year. So that's assuming Anthony Brown wins the job. But I think either way, with either one of those guys, they're going to have a little bit more of a spark on offense. Hopefully, if the offensive line could keep it together. What do you think, Tay? What do you think? Your guy, your Oregon Duck down there leading the charge? What are our thoughts on the Roughnecks, man?
I think Anthony Brown, it'll be a good learning experience. I like how Kiki Chisholm's back and Justin Hall, but I don't know. I honestly don't trust, again, kind of like what I was saying with Memphis.
Yes.
I don't like the quarterback situation. Like, Anthony Brown to me is like a big question mark. Like,
I thought that was going to be our ace in the hole for you.
No. I was never.
This is really dark days now.
I was never.
He's your guy. You know him.
Yeah, I do. I was never a fan of Oregon. That's like my least favorite Oregon quarterback. Yeah.
Oh,
I was never a fan of Anthony Brown. So I'm trying to like hear him out. I'm trying to like, I want to see it. But I was never the biggest fan. That's the thing. I think he's the biggest flyer. Like, the offense. I think the weapons are good. Like, if Anthony Brown is good, they can surprise him. They can surprise him. I mean, they have nothing to prove really. They're 1-9. I don't think anyone's gonna go with 10. So I mean, they're just gonna go out there and just. I guess
all they gotta do is win 2 games and they'll double the win total. Yeah.
Right. That's what I think. They just go out there, figure things out. But Anthony Brown is just a big question mark for me. Like, if he's what I think he'll be. And I think
that's tough. That's tough because I pretty much guarantee that nobody else on this whole media group has watched more snaps of Anthony Brown than Tay does. He's not into it.
That's my least favorite Oregon quarterback. Yeah, I don't know. That was when Oregon was bad. I don't have any good memories of Anthony Brown. So I don't know. I'm trying to be open-minded here. I want him to do good. Oregon legend. I want him to do good, but. I don't know. There's something about it. He's
a legend. He's not a good legend. He's like La Llorona is a legend.
I'll never forget him.
I'll never forget him. Think about him every day. True. What Roughnecks, man? Roughnecks in for a rough season.
Absolutely. History repeats itself. They'll double their win total, which is not saying much, but the outlook doesn't feel great for that team. I think last year I want to say all of us were kind of like, we knew that they would be not great, but we didn't think they would be as bad as they ended up. Yeah. And
it unraveled. Yeah.
I'm not gonna fall for it this year. And really not to fall for it, because there's nothing that's making me go like, you know what? They might do it. Like when we talk about the showboats, all jokes aside, I feel like, okay, you did an overhaul. You're trying to make enough changes to at least have a fighting chance. Whereas I just don't feel like the Roughnecks did enough to really move the needle. And then also,
you lost your 2 best players on defense by a wide margin.
Yeah. So it's like you there's no way to I mean, and honestly, like I said, they're gonna double their win total. They might do the exact same thing as they did last season. They don't have enough really to compete. And this season is going to be, I think there's going to be like one of those smash and grab seasons where it's going to be like the intensity we saw last season, I think is going to go up, especially with everything surrounding it, including the stuff we've been, the
labor stuff,
other off the field stuff. So I think it's going to be a really intense season, and I just don't think the Roughnecks are built for the intensity that's about to happen, especially for teams like the Stallions, like the Panthers, and even the Showboats. Like the Showboats might have, they might last season was an embarrassing season. They took it seriously enough to overhaul their roster.
Yeah.
I don't feel like the Roughnecks took it that serious to make any changes, and we're going to see the results of that. So,
one team that is ready for the intensity of this season is the United Football Media. Just as we just talked about, we got Roughnecks Rundown with our guy Ace, the PAWD podcast for the Michigan Panthers is back with our guy FBI Tugboat. Of course, my favorite, your favorite, everyone's favorite, the Brahma Bullpen down there in the cow pasture with our guy Josh and producer. And of course, Captain's Log out here with Brandon and Webb. And the DC Defenders show with me and Tay talking about those DC Defenders rocking out with Rowdy Audi. The beer snake and the lemons are flying around. Check us out this week. We're going to have a very special guest joining us. Might be related to the next thing I'm about to plug. Jay defending football. His shorts series is excellent stuff. He'll get a fine injection of information and enthusiasm in your weekly viewing. So check that out on United Football Media as well. We got podcasts for every team. We'll be up rocking and rolling by the time the season is going. And of course, we, the three of us, with the DAR Sports Media crew, we have our own sports media page. Just put DAR Sports Media up there in the YouTube search bar. If you like what's going on here, we cover football, basketball, and combat sports too. Please do be advised, we do get into some cussing over on our page, unlike the buttoned up, professional, family friendly programming that you get right here on the United Football Media, the #1 spring football media conglomerate. I say all that to say this right here has been Tell Me About It.